Hey, this is Kristen Von Cleff. You are watching and or listening to High on the Holy Spirit. This episode is about an interior vision I had almost 10 years ago and the many stories of how I have not been able to escape his heart. So stay tuned after the introduction and I will see you on the other side. All right, so we're going to jump on in here. I was going down to Atlanta, Georgia with my mother to the Eucharistic Congress in 2017 in the beginning of June. The Congress was Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. And the events ended on Friday evening with a healing mass. After the healing mass, they had Eucharistic adoration. And at that specific one, Sarah Kroger, a wonderful Catholic musician, was playing piano and singing. Also going on at that time for the healing part was the back of the convention center was lined with not lined, but scattered spots of prayer teams for people to be healed. I've talked before about struggling with bipolar disorder, and so my mom kind of rushed me into a team as it was getting late for healing. These women began to pray over me. When they were finished asking the Lord for the healing from the bipolar disorder, they asked if there was anything else. The thing that came to mind then for me was something I never asked prayer for, and I said, I've been carrying some shame on me for a really long time, and I would really like for it to go away. So they began to pray, and when they finished, they said, what did you see? I said nothing because I kind of balked at it, thinking, if I tell you what I saw, you'll know what I did. I look back now, almost 10 years later, I couldn't pick these women out of a lineup. And so I wish I had told them. They might have had insight. But regardless of that fact, I will tell you what I saw. And I just won't be as descriptive, so you won't know. So the scenario turned into something beautiful. I was on the left in my visual aspect. In this interior vision, my eyes weren't open, so it was this interior. I was on the left, facing left, and then about 3 yards behind me was Jesus, facing left. And the understanding I had in this vision was I did not know he was back there. I didn't know he was behind me, but he was there. We were both standing, and he was just standing there with his arms down to his sides. And that was this perspective I had was to our sides. I couldn't see the front of my face. I couldn't see the front of his face. I couldn't see our front. It was from the sides. And what he was wearing was a red robe, which went all the way down to his wrists. And he had dark wavy hair. And from the side, I could tell his beard came down kind of to a point. And, but he was just standing there. He was just present. I was not sure what this red robe Jesus was. When I got back to the hotel room that evening, I decided to Google red robe Jesus because I was highly curious as to why he was standing there with a red robe on. As I Googled, went into the images, I was finding blondie Jesus, with the blonde hair, straight, brownish, and I just went picture after picture knowing this is not who I saw. That is very thin fabric. That's like as thin as a t-shirt. His was thicker. It was a deeper red, So I was able to look at these pictures and really be like, that's definitely not him, not him, not him. And then I got to this one picture and I was like, oh my gosh, that's him. And this time, this image is not from the side, it's from the front. And so it was the same hair, same beard, same fabric, same color, except in this image, the robe was opened to his cloak beneath it, which was, kind of a khaki cloak. And then exposed on his chest was his heart. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that's the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I was like, I saw the Sacred Heart of Jesus. That was who he was in that image. He was standing there loving me despite my shame. And I will say this is shame I had carried for many, 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 many years. Very deep shame. And the instant they prayed with me, they prayed over me, I was healed from it. It was gone. I didn't have it anymore. And it was so intense. It was a lot of very intense shame. And I was healed by his love. And it was really hard to even accept that. Like, How could he? Because of what I did. And it was so beautiful. And what a gift to have his love in the midst of shame. So he appears, not just standing there in any other personhood, as I say, but he's in the personhood of how we depict his love, him loving the most. So this is a shameful whatever, and he's standing there and he's loving me. Like I said, I didn't know he was there. He was just present. So that Friday was actually the Friday before the feast day of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have this newfound devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I saw him. He loves me. Gosh, man, I'm going to have this, it's going to be this devotion. I'm going to be like 100% words escaping me. I'm just going to be this is going to be the biggest thing now. This is going to be my biggest devotion. It's going to be over everything, So I get home. Since the feast day was that upcoming Friday, I went to our Catholic bookstore we used to have and was like, I'm going to go buy all the Sacred Heart stuff. So I went in there. I bought a prayer book. I bought a card decal. I bought holy card. I bought a statue. I bought like all these things because this is this new thing, right? And so as the day went on during that week, Thursday came, the feast day's on Friday, and I take the holy card and I flip it over and I start reading the prayer. And the prayer is, "Oh my Jesus, I consecrate myself today and always to your most sacred heart. Most sacred heart of Jesus, I implore that I may love you more and more. Most sacred heart of Jesus, I trust in you. Most sacred heart of Jesus, have mercy on me. Most sacred heart of Jesus, I believe in your love for me. Jesus, meek and humble of heart, make my heart like unto thine." My heart burns right now just thinking of that. So I started reading that prayer card, and as soon as I hit, I don't even know if I finished the first sentence. I was like, oh my gosh, I have this memorized. And then I realized my mom had us as kids consecrate ourselves to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And every day going to Mass as kids, we would pray this prayer. Other consecration prayers as well, but this prayer was the first one we would pray. And I was like, this isn't a newfound devotion. This is a refound devotion. So excitedly, I celebrated in the feast day the next day. And then I went out to live out that year, 2017. And I went to this place, another event in Atlanta, actually, charismatic conference, Catholic conference down there. And there was one of these events there, little tracks. You could pick which one you want to go to. And it was called Healing Within the Imagination was the way of doing it. And it was having people to be healed from the lies that they say they're not good enough. I went to this woman. We had this prayer team. And this phenomenally, profoundly, find your adjective, changed my life and 100 other people's lives. Because this woman did a healing exercise with me that I've done with over 100 people now. She has me sit down, and the lie I told myself was that I was stupid. But it was a genuine belief. As soon as they said, we're going through these list of lies, and they said that you're stupid, I'm like, well, people can be stupid. I'm stupid. How is that a lie? And so when I said that to her, she said, well, first thing she said, well, you have emotional intelligence to come to me. So anyways, she takes me there. I'm with her. She starts to lead me through this imaginative healing exercise. Close my eyes. She said, all right, I want you to imagine the worst time, the people who made you feel this way. Imagine the worst time. And it happened a lot. So at first it was just black. And then all of a sudden, without me trying to imagine this scenario, this place appeared like it hasn't looked like it looked in decades. And the people there, they're there, and I was there, and I just looked like I felt so small. And I was not trying to imagine this way. She says to me once she felt peaceful to say, now place Jesus there with you. Is he behind you, beside you, in front of you? And so Jesus appears without me trying to do this. I was not trying to think of him this way. This is a lot. I have interior visions. I had no control. It just happened. He appeared there like he was in the Sacred Heart image. And as soon as she starts unraveling these lies, these words, these affirmations, these things that come out of her mouth, Jesus falls to his knees. He looks me in the eye. And everything she's saying is coming through his lips to me. And after she's done with me, and like I said, I've done this with over 100 people now. It's just, that's a whole nother story, but I was healed. I don't believe that anymore. And it's not true. It's very much a lie. I look at my 3.888 GPA, and that never was good enough. And, but yeah, so I know I'm not stupid. But there he was with the Sacred Heart. And that weekend, we got back from that retreat. Monday was St. Margaret Mary of Alacoque's feast day. And she's the one who really, really ignited the devotion. Like, people were devoted to the heart of Jesus prior to her. But 1600s, 1700s. But she really ignited that, and the devotion spread because of her. So that was that Monday. I ended up getting sick and had bipolar disorder, like I said, and I was hospitalized. When I was in the hospital, I was talking to this guy. This guy's in there. He's got tattoos all over him. He's got a bona fide mohawk, just like, straight, completely like buzzed hair on the sides, like completely bald. So he's got tattoos on his arms. He's got them on his skull. He's got like skulls and crossbones. He's got like demons. He's got all kinds of like tattoos. And, I'm asking about his tattoos and his, stories of them and everything. And in this conversation, I started telling him about the vision of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And, I told him all these things that happened. And he stands up and he turns around and he pulls down his collar, and across his shoulder blades are the words Sacred Heart, then with a little picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. He has this on his back. Seriously, come on. So moving forward, a lot of things I've gone through, his heart, I have not been able to escape it. And it's either consolations, like this guy with the tattoo, or it's affirmations. It's like, okay, look, you're having a struggle. Here's my heart to console you. Or you're discerning something. Here's my heart to affirm you're doing the right thing. Because as time moved forward in 2019, yet another hospitalization. And I think there were other instances, but these are the kind of most like, wow, okay. I was in a hospital, and one of the co-patients there she was in for depression, and she said, I've never told anybody this. She said, when I was little, I was like 5 or 6, I was laying out in the field of daisies. And she said, I looked up in the sky and Jesus appeared and his heart was on his chest. And this person's not Catholic. And I just my eyes bugged out. And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, you saw the Sacred Heart of Jesus? And she had no idea what I was talking about. And I ran to my room where I had a holy card, obviously, with me. And I brought it to her and I said, is this what you saw? And she goes, yes. And I was like, that's awesome. We actually were both getting discharged at the exact same time. Her son-in-law was there picking her up, and the lady who was there to get me was there. And I was getting my contraband, the things that I wasn't allowed in my room, one of which was a 12-inch statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I looked at her. I said, would you like this? And she just looks at her, and her eyes open up so wide. And she looks at her son-in-law, and she's like, this is what I saw. And of course, he's like, okay. So that happened. And then, okay, so the end of 2020... trying to think the order of these things. Yeah, the end of 2020, I had started playing guitar again in the summer. And the end of the 2020 year, for Christmas, I believe, it's 2020. not 2021. Yeah, 2020. My mom and dad gave me $150 to go buy a guitar because I really felt like God was prompting me to get a guitar. So I went to look for a guitar, and I brought my brother-in-law with me as a bodyguard. And there was a gentleman selling a guitar for $150. And my parents were like, yeah, that's, Christmas gift. So I go to look at it, and I'm, tuned it, played it. He's like, okay, here's the case. And he's like, you'll be performing someday. Let me go get you the stand. He gets the stand. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Thanks. He's like, oh, wait. I've got a guitar strap. So he comes out with a guitar strap. And if you are watching this, I have the strap right here. All up and down this guitar strap is the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I was just like, okay, I don't have to discern this anymore. Here's your $150. And so I got the guitar. And so 2021, so shortly thereafter, month or so after, actually it was just a month, I was discerning moving. I moved around a lot. And there was someone, I was looking at a place to stay. When I got to the house, on the patio, the front patio, was a life-size statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. This wasn't like a small or medium-size, garden statue. This was a full life-size statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. So I kind of chuckled to myself and went through the front door, and I was like, okay, I will take this woman up on her offer. But when I got downstairs to the basement, I look up at the wall. Now, I don't know if I said it earlier, but that image that I saw, that I Googled, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is Sacred Heart of Jesus. That image, I could not find anywhere to buy. I looked at EWTN catalog. I looked at our local Catholic bookstore. I looked at Catholic Company, Aquinas Gifts. I looked all over the internet, couldn't find it. But if I clicked on the picture on Google Photos, it took me to a poster store from Canada, and that's the only place I could order it. And so I did, and I have it. And but I had never seen that image before anywhere ever. And when I walked down into her basement, I look up on her wall, and the image there is framed and signed by the artist. And I was like, okay, God. All right. So consolation, affirmation, maybe both at the same time, because it was stressful moving place to place, but this was definitely a beautiful thing he gave to me. Just trying to think of other stuff. As time progressed, this is almost 10 years ago. As time progressed, he's everywhere. If I need a consolation and affirmation, his heart is there, and it's so beautiful. But as I started to look back at my childhood, and the fact that when we moved here in 1990, the church we're at now was not built. And we went to the cathedral, and the cathedral is the name of it is the Cathedral of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I never really paid attention to that, even in 2017 or a few years later. And then I started thinking, I went to school there. I made my first communion at that church. And then one of the very big things, obviously my first communion is immensely important to me. The Eucharist is my God, my all. And but I thought of specifically a relationship, a family relationship. We have a family friends that are, the matriarch, patriarch are my sister's godparents. My sister friend, she's 5 years older than me. She's like a big sister. I was maid of honor in her wedding. She was my confirmation sponsor. My brother was his best man. My mom used to call him a triplet to my brothers who were twins. We're so close. And I said to my sister friend one day, I was just like, we would not know each other if it was not for the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I've known her since I was 8 and I'm 41. So it's been a minute and we're still so close. And so the Sacred Heart has been a big deal in my life, my whole life. And I didn't realize that. And, but yeah, this is amazing. I am so excited that our country is consecrating. I'm about to cry right now. I am so excited that our country is, the bishops, we're consecrating our country, the US of A, to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I didn't think I was going to cry. It's that beautiful, that important. And the biggest message in this is, yes, I had a vision. Yes, he consoles and affirms. And, I've been through a lot. It's been a rough 10 years, these past 10 years. Lots of hospitalizations, lots of just heartaches and just so many things, dealing with trauma and wounds and just sickness and spiritual warfare and just like all these things, but his love outweighs it all. Whew, it outweighs it all. And it's just like these constant reminders for me over these years that he loves me. And the truth is, he loves you just as much. He does. Maybe you're not seeing the Sacred Heart around every corner, but he loves you so much. And that's the message of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, his love. He loves you so much. He loves you so much. And is very much complemented and fulfilled by divine mercy, because he has his mercy for you as well. There is a movie, I don't know if I mentioned this before. There's a movie out right now on the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Highly, highly recommend going to see it. We're probably in the last couple days, this upcoming weekend. The feast day, I'm recording this, and it's tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get it up tonight. Because today, it's going on actually while I'm recording this. The country is being consecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. But yeah, main message, main gist. Yeah, it was beautiful having the vision. It was beautiful knowing that he loves me despite my shame. But it's the same message for you. No matter what you've done, where you've gone, he loves you. He loves you. He always will love you. No matter how far you run away, he always loves you. Prodigal son, prodigal daughter, his arms are wide open and he loves you. He loves you so much. He loves you so much, like I said, in your guilt, in your shame. He loves you. In your sin, in your mistakes, your failures, your wrongdoings. He loves you. And I do too, as always. God bless you. Happy feast day of the most Sacred Heart of Jesus. And almost happy anniversary to our country, 250. And, but yeah. Always, Jesus loves you. I do too. God bless you. I'll see you later. Bye.